following the Meek Trail of 1845 in eastern Oregon by Dalles Spencer and Keenan Hansen.
Spencer, standing out in my backyard in Oak Ridge, Oregon, contemplating a trip that my grandson Keenan Hansen and I are making east, directly this way, to mark the old 1845 Meek Road. Two of the most important items in this trip is a map that I have created from this book right here, that it was just recently written by a couple people who live in Baker, Oregon. And this fella is a retired surveyor, and unlike all other books written about this, he had the capability of putting in GPS coordinates. And I have the software to create a map. This is eastern Oregon, and these are some of the GPS waypoints that we plan to make some marks, some plastic pipe marks where each one of the GPSs are. And of course this here is my Garmin GPS, and then on the other side is my new smartphone, and both those will enable us to locate these points, go to them, and we will. And another thing that we will be placing in the ground at all the GPS coordinates, these white pipes marked Meek 1845. The pipes will be driven into the ground, look something like this, and then hopefully as years go by, people will have some idea of where Meek led 1,000 people across this desert in 1845. Of course, one of the big projects in this whole venture is getting our little camper ready. I've spent days and hours remodeling and getting everything ready to go. Keenan and I are getting ready to go to eastern Oregon to peruse the old Meek Trail. Of course, the most important thing for Keenan is to bring his guitar. He's inside there doing something. Keenan's getting our steps, loading up some last things. You just lift that off there now, Keenan. Here we are at the top of the pass. Keenan's coming down the road playing his guitar. Well, this is Keenan and I's first night at camping, looking for the old Meek Trail. This is our spot right here. It's kind of an offbeat road. Looks like a nice place. I might need to back up the camper just a little bit. It's a little bit uneven. No one likes to sleep on an uneven bed. And I'm going around the corner here, and Keenan is writing his memoirs, playing his guitar. Guess what? Eating hamburger and beans, and he just got through spilling his lemonade. Yeah, but that's the breaks when you camp. Huh? Well, the worst moment was getting over here.
Keenan walked over the hill. There was a quaint little farm nestled along the creek. Wherever you see a green strip in this barren land, there is water. Your first impression is that this is a land of sagebrush and rattlesnakes.
We left Bend, and it's such a beautiful town nowadays, and no more than got a couple miles away, and nothing but not even any hillsides. They were just all brush. But there's some beautiful junipers growing down here.
We got some cows though.
Oh yeah, forgot about the cows. And then they decided that we didn't have any food, so they went back to where they were originally. Well, this is day number 2, and Keenan and I are getting ready to go do something else. Keenan's over here nostalgically writing a song about this area. And today we want to go up and over that way towards a little area called Harper. Maybe tonight we'll come back and camp right here. And then I brought up the waypoints on my GPS, and 6 miles from here towards the Malheur and Harney Lakes is a waypoint where the Meek and the Elliott people went by. We're now standing along the Malheur River. Keenan's gazing out there, checking the scenery. We're on our way to Harper, and maybe we'll go a little bit north of Harper and find some part of the old Meek Trail. This Malheur River, the wagons stayed more up in the mountains here. 2 reasons. 1, stay away from Indians, and number 2, it would have been pretty difficult to bring wagons down along this river. Well, both the Meek Trail and the probably the Elliott Trail came down through this. Andrew McClure mentioned what he calls these large naked rocks. They must have went right by here. And here's another picture of some of the naked rocks. Why they called them naked, I don't know, but that's what they called them. Here's some more beautiful rock outcroppings that obviously the Meek people saw on their way. Right now, it appears that with our coordinates that they were on over on this area somewhere. Keenan and I stopped in this little town called Druzy, and there's a cemetery here, and on right over there is the Malheur River that goes to the Snake, and we were going to look around the cemetery a little bit. The Malheur River is right over there. This is up at Druzy, and this looks like where the Meek Trail came down over the mountain here. Right now, it seems like we're in the middle of nowhere, but in that background there where all that overcast is Steens Mountain. This guy who wrote the most recent book on the Meek Trail maintains they were headed to that mountain. I don't think so. But swinging on around, I'm not sure, but maybe that's Wright's Point over there, and eventually, I don't know if we'll ever be able to get to it, but on over there is Wagon Tire Mountain. We're now just below Crane, going over to, I don't know what they call it, the sod house or something like that.
There's this cell tower here, and Grandpa and I just pulled up to it, and our phones started buzzing like crazy. So yeah, we got some reception in the middle of nowhere. It was pretty cool. We're gonna head over to that lake way over there. There it is. We're gonna going to this strip of land called the Narrows, and we're gonna camp right in between the two lakes, the Mayor and the Melchior. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be fun.
We are now in the middle of the National Wild Refuge. There's a mountain over there, don't know what it is. Somewhere over there is Wagon Tire Mountain, and this is the refuge. And this is all set aside for waterfowl mainly. Waterfowl have this place all to themselves. It's almost impossible to believe that Meek and Elliot came right through this area on their way, at least Meek did, on his way to Wagon Tire. And they spent several days at Wagon Tire because the reason they couldn't get any water. They kept sending out scouts. Eventually, they found some water and they took off. But it was a very arduous trip. I don't know how in the world these people did it. Greed for land, I guess. Well, this is Tuesday evening, June 16th. We found a little KOA campground. And since we don't need any hookups, we found a little spot for $12. And are running around. We passed this old gentleman here who has a bike and a trailer behind it. He's camping here tonight. Busy writing love notes to somebody. I don't know who it is. But he's also singing songs, so that's a good thing. I'm not accustomed to having professional music on my outings, so I'm happy for that. And
Alright, on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Alright, well here's Grandpa. He's driving the truck. Grandpa, where are we headed?
well, our ultimate goal today is to get to almost Wagon Tire Mountain and do another waypoint. Kind of get a little sniffle of where the big wagon train went. The Elliott wagon train did not go towards Wagon Tire, but for some reason Meek took his group to Wagon Tire, but I don't know why. But they had to lay there for 3 or 4 days because the scouts ahead could not find water. Then somehow somebody found water and they took off.
Gee, I wonder why they couldn't find water. Well,
Just look out there. You see any water?
no, I really don't. Well, this road that we're driving on now is called the Narrows, and this is supposed to be a strip of land that goes right in between two lakes, but I don't see any lakes. So there you go. Well, there you have it. Day 4, I think. Yeah, that was good. Whoops. Well, Grandpa and I did a little bit of off-road, and this old thing really got us through there. We would have died without it. It's just an old dirt road. It's pretty cool. I was liking it because these roads reminded me of the roads in Africa, and I got to drive the whole way though this time. Grandpa's teaching me how to drive stick, and I'm still not great, but I'm getting better. Huh, Grandpa?
2 thumbs up, buddy.
Alright. We tried to hit up Wagon Wheel Mountain, but we couldn't exactly find it. And over that way, there were a couple of gates we weren't sure we were able to get through, but we went through one of them anyways. And then the second one, there's this huge Texas Longhorn bull waiting for us at it, and we did not want to get out of the van or the truck. So we didn't, and we went back. And now we're just camped on the side of the road here. But yeah, Grandpa, where are we headed tomorrow?
Oh boy, your guess is as good as mine, but we're gonna be going basically northwest. We won't be there, but close to Prineville.
All right. We came up here on a little hike, because we just arrived at Wagon Tire, and there's this valley that Grandpa wanted me to film, and he couldn't make the hike, so here I am. That it's not actually this valley, but it's the valley over that mountain range right there, that the immigrants came out into here with. This is our land, I think. Yep, here it is. There's a truck. Our truck. This right there, a wagon tire. That's the top of it. And that's where Meek and some of the immigrants went. And they stayed there for a while, sending scouts out for water.
One thing I told Keenan about when Grandma and I came over in this country was these ant hills. Unbeknownst to us, where we stopped today, there was a pile of dirt, accidentally stepped in it. Guess what? Here come the ants. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're very busy. If you look close, they're taking their eggs somewhere else, but I don't know what the whole plan is. They seem to know.
Towards evening time, just gazing out into the field, appearing from nowhere were the pronghorn antelope. It was 2 adults and 2 young ones. I don't know if they were Dad and Mom and 2 little ones or what. As they moved along, occasionally eating, but mainly headed for somewhere, the small ones, as children might do, lagged behind. When they realized Mom and Dad were too far ahead, they would catch up to the safety of their parents. Then the little ones disappeared. In pronghorn talk, I surmise the parents bedded them down and told them to stay here until we come back. I only saw the older ones headed over the hill. I think they were going to get a drink of water. The next day, when we got up, who should appear but the antelope family? They were on the opposite side of the truck, headed towards Wagon Tire. One of the adults, out of curiosity, kept moving closer and closer to the strangers in this foreign land. Who are they? What are they up to? Soon the older deer began to run. They all hurried away. One fascinating thing to me was at a gallop, their heads and their bodies seemed to be perfectly erect. I suppose this was a genetic trait that assured them they would keep a lookout as they ran for a possible cougar attack. We are now in an area called Camp Creek,
And tomorrow we're going towards Prineville on a road down there, and it happens to be paved on Camp Creek, and then pretty soon it comes to Bear Creek. And right over there off this mountain, right alongside the paved road, we left a marker. Says Meek 1845.
And we got out in the middle of this beautiful valley. It's really nice. It's a really cool place. And there's nobody out here. It's awesome. Then Grandpa thinks that there is, there it is. There's an Indian cave up there. So that's pretty cool. Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa. I'm glad I got Keenan along.
Who's that? He sounds stupid.
I am having one heck of a time with this,
Whatchamacallit?
whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
But
These
Keenan
things are
saved
rough.
her bacon. He knew how to find roads that weren't even there.
Google's amazing, isn't it?
Hi, Keenan, come here. Let me ask you a question.
Okay. Is it about the whatchamacallit?
How do you get that top sign up there?
Oh,
See that slash mark?
you press this one.
Oh, symbol?
Boop.
Hey, now look at that, what I'm learning. All right. Well, we have just finished another night of camping here, looking for the old Meek Trail. We did find it right here, and Keenan's kneeling down there by it, and it says Meek 1845. And the way we were up on that plateau last night and found a place up there, and apparently they came right across that plateau, came down this mountainside here, then they turned and went over there between those two mountains. And this little range right here is called the Maury Mountains, and they were on the other side. But in order to get to some waypoints over there, that's where we're traveling to, or those waypoints. We're gonna, rather than going on across this road, we're gonna turn and go to our left down another road.
On our way to Prineville, we stopped at Bowman Dam. It encompasses a smaller previous dam. Keenan decided to take a swim. It was hot.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, I wish I was young again.
Woo, that feels good. I'm gonna do it again.
At the bottom of this lake is the old Meek Trail. Keenan thought he might find it. Unbeknownst to him, it's 150 feet to the bottom. It was a great pleasure to have such a smart, respectable young man on this trip. Sometimes this lake is called Prineville Reservoir. Its use is irrigation, flood control, and recreation.
There is Mount Jefferson, and Grandpa hiked up that in the summer of 1967. He said he was 28 years old. That inspires me to go do that sometime. Maybe not this trip though. We just got to another waypoint. It's right over there. We're gonna go get to the exact location and go camp in those trees somewhere tonight. It'll be good. It's a pretty beautiful area. There's a cow pen here. Yeah. Here it is. We're on top of this cool area here. There's Mount Adams. There is Mount Hood. Where did it go? There it is. There's Mount Jefferson. Oh, there's Three-Fingered Jack. There is Mount Washington. There are the Three Sisters, or yeah, somewhere over there. And then there's Broken Top. There it is. And Grandpa and I just put in a stake next to the trail.
We are now at Sharer Falls, and our good friend Keenan is sitting down there getting ready to jump in the water. It was somewhere right here that the Meek party come down out of those hills, and it says that just above these falls that they hung a rope across the river and transported the wagon wheels and the wagon bed floated across the river. But I'm trying to figure out what in the world they would have done after they got over on this other side. And our good buddy Keaton found a lamprey eel down here in the water.
After doing a little more research and reading, I determined where they crossed a ways above Sharer Falls. They came down out of the hills to this spot marked Deschutes Crossing. With the help of the Indians camped in this area, they were all able to get across and head to where it was marked Canyon Out. Of course, at that time, the railroad bridge was non-existent. This being the only canyon out of this area, they made their way to the top. From there, they turned north and made a long journey to the Dalles. This is now Oregon Highway number 216. At the Dalles, they found a refuge at the Methodist Mission. Exhausted and half-starved, it was a welcome spot. It is speculated, with his job all done, Meek quietly disappeared. Thank you for watching. Signing off, Del Spencer.